Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger, and it's time for us to take a look at a new build video. It's the beginning of the whole preseason 3 nonsense, so this is the first new build technically with all the new items and all the changes in the game. Playing a little bit of Jarvan in the top lane. Going to be playing him as a tanky bruiser, which is how I do like to play him. I also do like playing him as a full-blown tank. He is a very good tank when he is played with the maximum amount of just armor and defense. He does a good job with the team in that aspect and still deals damage that way because of kind of his kit, but we'll go over a little bit of that in a second. But first off, at level 1, there's a few different ways you can go now in the game since there are new items and different changes. I just went with boots and pots this game. I wanted a little bit of mobility because Olaf has a slow and he's going to be able to use his true damage to hurt me. Here I asked for an early gank because I knew I was going to need one, so we're going to have a Moo come up out of here. And we're going to try to get into a little bit of a fight. There's some awesome minion pathing for me. He's trying to move back over to me to fight me. I used my shield, which negated a little bit of damage, and I'll be able to kind of help kill him there. And I popped a health pot in the middle of that fight, and Amumu's going to definitely help me there as well. Amumu's going to get that kill, but I'll get that assist, and the gold from that assist is definitely going to help me early on. Like I said, I went with boots and pots. The pots are going to be nice as well to negate some damage. Some other things you can do early if you want to is you can pick up the new flask item, which is kind of nice. We'll go over more of that later in other videos, but if you know about the flask, that's a good item. Or if you wanted to start building towards a Philosopher's Stone early, you can do that as well. That time back at base, I did buy a Philosopher's Stone and still picked up some pots because I want to be safe up here. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage. I'm not going to farm as well. Olaf's one of the problem characters that you can have up top if they know what they're doing, and this one's doing a pretty good job of negating the farm, but I'm doing my best to stay in the lane, get the experience I can, poke on him a little bit. Luckily, the Philosopher's Stone is going to allow me to do that with some mana regeneration that Jarvan sometimes struggles with. You can blow through his mana pretty quick, so you got to be a little bit careful with that, but a solid Philosopher's Stone will help you out, and you'll be able to stay in lane a lot better that way. And, you know, the health regen is obviously going to be nice as well, especially since I'm going to be constantly getting poked up here by him. But luckily, I'm going to play safe. He's going to be pushing, so I'm probably not going to get ganked necessarily, and I'm going to keep asking for ganks from my Amumu, and we'll be able to keep working on that this way. So like I was saying, those are the first few items I went with. There's a few different ways we can be maxing out the skills on Jarvan. There's no really set way. It kind of comes down to a personal preference. I like taking points depending on the game and depending on how much I'm getting hurt. But I like taking points in Demacian Standard, which is his E ability, which is when he throws down his flag. And then his Golden Aegis, which is his shield, which when you use it and someone's in it, it then slows them and you get that shield, like I said. So if you're taking lots of poke and you want to put a few more points in your shield, you can do that. The other nice thing I was saying about Demacian Standard is it has a passive on it where it gives you passive armor and attack speed. So the attack speed's obviously great when you are fighting them, and the passive armor is really good just top lane wise because everybody up there usually is a physical damage character. Here we are going to be pushing the lane a little bit while Amumu is up here. Here I think we're going to get into a little bit of fight. Their jungler Sejuani comes out. She's going to kind of keep initiating on us. Get to Amumu. I'm going to move back in, throw down my standard, and then use my Dragon Strike to slide across. I'm going to pick up a kill on Sejuani pretty quick. Unfortunately, Amumu's going to die. I am going to get in a 1v1 though with an Olaf. Be able to use a lot of stuff that's very helpful. I'm going to flash over to him to hit him one more time. Use my standard and my strike to knock him up one more time and hit him for a double kill. So it doesn't really take much damage with Jarvan. Fortunately, I am going to get murdered from Katarina. She did come top. But I did pick up a couple kills, which is going to be very nice for me early on. I did just finish off a phage, which is an item I was working towards. I like getting that fairly early, and then I can decide what I want to do with that phage later on. But getting it pretty early is going to help me with health, doing a little bit of damage, and having that passive slow that can kick off occasionally, which might help if my jungler is trying to gank. So I can have that at my usage, which is going to be good, obviously, for more slows, considering that you already have one with your Aegis, and you do have your knock up when you do take your E and your Q ability and team those together. Getting a little bit of a fight here. He's doing a little bit more damage than I want him to. Unfortunately, he gets scared here when I ult him. He could have hit me once and killed me, but he's going to take one more tower hit he didn't think he was going to take, and I'm going to pick up a kill, and when I probably should have died. So if he would have killed me, though, my Cataclysm ultimate would have probably stayed up, and he probably still would have taken a few too many tower hits, so I probably would have picked up a kill as well. Sometimes it's good if you know you're going to die under your tower to just lock them into your Cataclysm and make them die too from the tower because they won't be able to get out of it if they do not have flash. Luckily, this champion against me top, Olaf, did not take flash. He took ghost, so I don't have to worry about him flashing out of my ultimate anyway. That is one thing about your ultimate you have to be careful about, though, which is, your Cataclysm. You deal some decent damage with it, and it does lock off enemies. You have to be careful, though, not to get your team stuck in it if you do not want a certain person on your team to get stuck in it, such as an AD carry. And I think a lot of people forget to also turn off your ultimate. You can end it early by pressing the button again, and that will get rid of the walls in case you do trap someone wrong in it, or you trap something you don't want in there so you don't have to waste anything. So that's something you have to consider. Here we're getting to a big fight. It's a 3v2 for a second. I'm going to move in, knock a couple of them up, use my Cataclysm, pick up an assist on the Olaf. Both of my teammates have died, but luckily I have health and I deal damage, so I'm going to flash forward so that Katarina dies because that Ignite just ended and wasn't going to do it. Now I'm going to use my Standard and my Dragon Strike to slide back over, knock her up, use my shield to make sure she would be slowed, and pick up a easy double kill on them as well. So I'm doing a little bit better now that the game is moving on, and that early Olaf damage is just really annoying, especially with this true damage, kind of hard to negate, so just made sure I had plenty of health pots with me top lane. Now I'm starting to build towards a favorite item I love in the top lane. Doesn't work quite as well against Olaf, but against other champions it works really well, is the Ranuin's Omen that I am building. All of that health and that armor is great. You can get into 1v1 fights, not really have much attack damage, but you negate so much of their attack damage that they are just unable to really do anything at all to deal damage to you. And you're dealing a lot of damage yourself because Jarvan his kit works really well in certain ways, such as his passive, which does a % of your target's current max health as a bonus physical damage. It has a 6-second cooldown, though, when you are on just attacking the same individual. So it won't go off, every attack. But nonetheless, 6, 10, I believe it goes 6, 8, and 10% as the game goes on for your passive. And that's a good amount of damage as extra damage. It does cap at 400, but still, a lot of extra damage for just hitting someone once pretty hard. So you can remember that it does that. You'll do a little bit of extra damage whenever you want to poke somebody in lane a few times. Got an assist on the Blitzcrank. Our Zyra, I think, is going to die. Going to pick up a kill on the Olaf, and I do pick up the kill on the Sejuani as well, so I'm going to pick up a double kill. We also did push their top lane and got 3 towers in a row quite well after we did kill their Olaf. They were all in bot lane, so we decided to push top very hard, so did a pretty good job with that. Back at base now, while dead and buying, I did pick up that Omen, which is just great. Like I said, it's going to give you a ton of armor, also going to give you way more health now with that Giant's Belt built into that, or just a good amount of health to pick up, and that's going to be a great item for us to consider buying pretty early on, especially while top and dealing with a lot of physical damage. As for the rune page that I do typically go with when I am playing him, I like to go with a tanky style masteries page. I go with magic resist marks, armor seals, magic resist per level glyphs, and either move speed quintessences, or you can do attack damage. There's a few choices you can do in there. Sometimes I will take an attack damage page on him if I really know it's a game where I want to go with a lot more damage and build slightly more brawler than bruiser. So just kind of depends on the way you're feeling and how you want to go with that. Now, my phage is still a phage for a few reasons. Now, this game, we do have an Amumu on our team, so I don't have to technically go as full tank as I sometimes normally would. So if you want to go more tanky, typically I'd be taking that phage into a Frozen Mallet. It's just a great item. Obviously, you can get that slowing and a lot of health as well, and you'll get a little bit of damage. Now, this game, later on, I do start building it towards the other thing I would go towards if I don't need all that health, and I don't need to be going quite as tanky, which is going to be a Trinity Force. And it's a great item on Jarvan. It helps him out very much, and that's what I'm later going to be building that phage into. That Philosopher's Stone I do consider selling late game, but overall it's nice to have, and I am getting passive gold, and let alone health regen and mana regen, never a bad thing. Like I said, Jarvan can be a little heavy on the mana, but nonetheless, it's just a good item just to carry with you for a while. I do go with Merc Treads most of the time. Obviously, that Tenacity is very nice, and Magic Resist is a very good thing to have as well. So that is something to consider. And then also, last time I was back at base, I did pick up a Vampiric Scepter, which I am going to be building towards a newer item in the game. Not new, but a newer item. New to 5v5s. But we'll get to that in a second. Now, as for my masteries page, there's a few different versions, once again, of this you could go. I take my brawler page, I call it, which is the 14, 5, and 1 page. You get a little bit of offense, which is nice, and you get a little bit of defense, that is nice. If you want to go with a 21, 9, you can do that. And if you're going to go more full tank, just go, obviously, with like a big defense tree. I think like a 28 in the defense, or 29, just lots of defense on him. It'll be a good page as well. Just kind of depends on the way you like to build him and kind of the style in which you're going to be playing him, whether or not you're going to be kind of your primary tank or if you're going to be kind of being the whole bruiser brawler situation. So luckily this game I don't have to go as tanky because we have our Amumu, but still getting really tanky, kind of an off tank really. So I'm going to be doing that, being able to deal damage, yet still support the team as a tank with CC. So we're going to get in a little bit of a fight here because Moo moves in. Caitlyn picks a quick kill on the Ezreal. We're underneath this tower. I think I'm the one tanking it, and I can tank it just fine for the most part because I have a lot of armor. Picked up a kill on the Katarina, and Amumu's going to go and pick up a couple kills while we pick up the Ace. That one time I was back at base, not too long ago, I did pick up a pickaxe, which is going to be building with that Vampiric Scepter. I'm going to be building towards the, what is that item called off the top of my head? It is called the Blade of the Ruined King, and what that's going to do is give me some lifesteal, it's going to give me some damage, and then it's also going to give me a ridiculous passive. I think this item's a little bit broken, and it has an active as well. But I think this item is a very strong item. Its stats, I don't know them exactly off the top of my head, like specifically, but I'm going to do percentage of damage and heal for a percentage of it, of their life. And then when I activate this item on a target, it's going to drain some of their health, it's going to return some of it to me, and it's going to slow them. And it's basically, read through all the stats of this item. It is kind of amazing in certain aspects. So in 1v1 fights, this item will give you the edge, and you'll be able to deal lots of damage. So it's a good damage dealing item. It gives you a little bit of attack damage too, I think 40 and 10% lifesteal, but it's passive and it's active. When you get in a 1v1 or if it's a target you're really focusing, that is where it really comes into play and really helps you out. So got a decent amount of attack damage though right now, and I am fairly tanky. Got 185-ish armor and 119 magic resist. So overall right now we only have 2 finished items, and we're doing pretty good when it comes to damage and when it comes to armor. Now, granted, I do have a Baron buff too right now, so that is helping me with some of those numbers, but nonetheless, our numbers are in pretty good places for being pretty tanky and for dealing pretty awesome damage. Now here, Caitlyn is going to die, unfortunately. Now they're going to try to get over to the Slux. I'm going to get over here, use my Cataclysm. Now that's an unfortunate spot where she kind of got trapped in there. I am able to get rid of the Olaf really quickly. Now here I am slowing down the Sejuani to try not to catch up to the Lux, and we're going to be able to kill her right before Lux dies. Lux uses a clutch shield to shield herself and me, but you're able to kill people fairly well. I also do have my Omen too right now, where I can use the passive on that to slow people. Don't forget about the passive on that. It's very good. So a lot of CC with Jarvan in this aspect, with your shield, with your Golden Aegis, which slows, and then you have your Omen that slows. You can knock them up when you team together, your standard and your strike. So those are both really good things to do as well. And then your Cataclysm, which you can all trap them if you want. So there's kind of a lot of different CC options you have with him. Now here at this point in the game, I am starting to build that Trinity Force. I want a little bit more damage. Now later on, it's never a bad idea to end the build out with a few items that I like. I either will build a Mob Malmortius. It's a great item and has a shield on it. You know, that shield that pops up when you get dealt that magic damage. Now another new item in the game that you can consider, I believe it's the Scimitar or something Scimitar, I can't remember the full name of it, but it is another attack damage item that gives you magic resist, and it is a very good item, and it's gonna give you a I believe a quick silver sash is built into it, so you can knock off any debuffs if you need to. Here I'm just chasing Olaf because, you know what, it's fun to bully him back because he is a good early game bully, so we're trying to bully him now. Getting into a little bit of a fight here, and I think he might get away, unfortunately, but you know, nonetheless, Jarvan's pretty awesome when it comes to tanky bruisers. He's very fun to play. Takes a little bit of time to get used to, but nonetheless, these are some of the key items that I like to take. There's a few other items I'll recommend in the description of this video, and you can find everything you need to know about him there as well. But for the most part, that's pretty much how I like to play Jarvan. Like I said, he's very fun as a tanky bruiser, and he's just very fun as a tank. If you want to try him that way, maybe I'll put those in the description below. But other than that, guys, if you have any questions, put them down in the comments, and I'll see all of you in the next build video.